Thank you. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmaster. Tonight I'm going to speak on how money works, and I'm using my little book up here as my card, my prop. There's a lot of different ways on how money works. I'm only going to touch on a few of them. It's too comprehensive subject. I'm going to start with paying yourself first. In America, a lot of people, what they do is they get up in the morning, they get dressed, and they go to work, they come home, they sit down. Some people watch TV, some people do other things, and then they do the whole cycle the next day. And at the end of the month or at the end of the week, they get a paycheck, and they pay all the bills, and at the end of the bills, they have a little bit of money left, and they do what they want with their money. And one day they wake up, maybe they're my age, 50, maybe they're younger, and they realize, I need something to retire on. I need something more than this existence. And I think the pay yourself first concept, which was never taught to me, is a very good idea. And what they suggest is 10%. This booklet suggests 10%. A lot of other places do also. And I have learned that if you can discipline yourself to save some of your money and not spend it all, first of all, you're probably not an American. And second of all, you will have, it does very quickly grow. In fact, towards the end of the speech, I will show you that 10% is more than the other 90% combined by the time you retire, because it does grow. And the money that you save, it gains interest. And then after a while, the offspring from that money has its own offspring. So the money that you save saves its money, and then you have all your little pennies and nickels rolling around making more pennies and nickels. So for me, the most important part is to pay yourself first. If you do nothing else, if you're not creative with buying land or flipping houses like some people like to do, paying yourself first is where it's at. The second thing I wanted to show was the rule of 72. Now I'm going to show this a little bit. The rule of 72 is very simple. I'm not a mathematician, but they use the rule of 72 if, okay, audience participation. How many people have heard of the rule of 72? One, two, only two? I've not heard of it until I joined financial services very recently, within a year. And basically it's this. You take 72 and you divide it by the percentage of what you're getting. If you buy a CD you might get 3% right now, probably less, but 72 divided by 3 is 24. So the time that your money will double is 24 years. So if you have $1,000 and you're getting 3%, it takes 24 years for that 3%, that $1,000 to become $2,000. It's very simple. Your bank will give you less interest than that, usually. Well, right now, for sure. Less than 1% right now. The stock market traditionally, over a period of the last 30 years, it's given us 12.47%. So if we think just 12%, 72 divided by 12 is 6 years. So your money would double in 6 years rather than in 24 years. That's a huge difference if you're saving money over a period of time and you're adding to that. So that's the rule of 72 in a nutshell. The next thing that I want to share with you is another prop. It's about the same thing, basically, interest, okay? And this is not necessary to see. Credit cards. In America, we use credit cards a lot. We You might end up paying $20, $30 on a Big Mac. If you're constantly holding a large balance on your credit cards, that same rule that applies in the rule of 72 applies even more for credit cards, because credit cards are revolving. That means they charge, if not a higher percent, then the way they compute it is more. It's not just they're giving you a straight percentage. I can't go into that too much detail on this speech, but if you can get rich by saving 10% of your money, you can be poor by supplying somebody else with your money, the interest that you pay on your credit card. Because it's usually credit cards, it's a higher percentage than what you can get on the stock market or in a bond or a stock. So I would caution you against holding on to your credit cards. The last thing that I wanted to show, and it goes hand in hand with the pay yourself first thing, and this I do want to show, that's why I have this, and this is the last thing. It's about procrastination, which has been a big part of my life, not only for my finances, but for speeches and other things. And this I do want to show. And it illustrates a 22-year-old starting to save money. And in this illustration, he's saving $4,000 a year, which is a pretty good amount of money. And it ends at 62 years. And person number one, he's not a procrastinator. So he starts saving $4,000 a year at age 22, and he stops saving at age 28. And he doesn't save any more money. And this illustration is to show you when $28,000 is more than $136,000. He invested $4,000 for 7 years. And then nothing else. And his balance when he was 62 is $1,256,000, which is more than the procrastinator who started at age 29, who put in $136,000, which is $4,000 a year from age 29 to 62. And he has less than the other fellow because of compounding interest, and that's how that works. In conclusion, I would like to quote something from the Bible. I hope I can do that. Proverbs 27, verses 23 and 24. It gives us advice on our finances. And what King Solomon was saying is, he says, know the state of your flocks and put your heart into caring for your herds. For riches don't last forever, and the crown might not be secure for the next generation. Basically, what this is telling us is to pay attention to our money, how much interest we're paying out, how much interest we're getting in, what we're doing with our money. And if we do that, then we don't have to live in bondage to the finances, because that's a big part of our lives. Thank you.